Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to another segment of What Reading. You're watching The Bake Book. Okay, this is my second segment of What Reading. If you are a new subscriber here, I know Ify gave me a shout out. Thank you, Ify. This is basically where you're gonna find like my TBRs, my hauls, my currently reading, and my wrap-ups. So I'm just doing it all together and more regularly, so it's not like a long-ass haul video or a long-ass wrap-up video, so just kind of like keeping it more regular and condensed so I don't ramble too much. I'm gonna start out with the things where I left off on my last video. I finished Beloved by Toni Morrison. I buddy read this with Fasika from a novel Millenial, and this really picked up for me. The beginning was really tough, but it's just kind of the writing style is where it doesn't make any sense for the first, 50 pages, and then the rest is more exposition explaining that. And I like that style enough. It's kind of confusing. It's definitely not my preferred method. It's a very gratifying feeling when you get to it and you're like, oh, that's what happened. I ended up giving this one 3 stars. I feel like it had some pacing issues. Some of the things were really fast and some things were very slow. There was a couple chapters that was all in verse and I did not like that at all. Overall, it was a good read and I'm sure people like this more than I did. Clearly, it has a Nobel Prize for literature. I thought it was good, not great. And then the next book I read was Fever Dream. I buddy read this with Shazia on Instagram at shaziareads. I'll link her bookstagram below. I was really confused in that one. It's all told in a flashback and in a conversation, but we don't know. It's not like an actual conversation because there's no quotation marks. It's all in italices, and the conversation that is happening in the past has actual quotation marks. So it's some kind of telepathic thing. Boy gets a disease and has a soul transfer, and I was kind of confused the whole time what was going on. It was good and it was interesting, but I didn't love it. I ended up giving it 3 stars again. At the end, it was a very vague ending, which I guess I liked. Yeah, I think I liked the ending, so it was good. I wouldn't recommend it. It was really quick too. It was maybe 150 pages. I heard that it's actually better to read it all in one sitting, and I can see that because it is kind of all over the place, but I didn't. I read it during Mardi Gras. I read chunks here and there when I could. The third book I read is another buddy read with Michael from Michael's Shelf. I really loved reading this with him. We had a whale of a time. It was a good Murakami where they were trying to find sheep and this magical realism, and I love Murakami and I love his magical female characters. They always have the power. They're always, have some sort of psychic ability or something like that, and I really have a fun time reading stuff like that. I ended up giving this one 3 stars. I think this is the first Murakami that I've given 3 stars. I usually do 5, but for this, again, there were some pacing issues where it's just kind of really lagging at some points. Some parts that were really quick, and I wish the ending had more detail about it because I feel I still had some questions and it was wrapped up rather quickly, and I think that could have been allocated better. So I think, if this was another author, I might have given it 4 stars because I think it was an upper 3 for me. I have really high expectations for Murakami. This is part of my BookTube Recommend series, Golden Boy by Abigail Tartolin. This was recommended to me by Mel at Books with Wings, and this is great. I'm really, really enjoying this. It has multiple POVs, and they are all written very well and very realistically, and they all have something to add to the story, which I'm really enjoying. Our main character is intersex and in high school. It's a well-to-do family. Dad's running for a politician, and so it's kind of nobody knows about his intersexness. He's discovering his sexuality, and it's really interesting. There's a lot of sex in this one, which is good. I really like that. I was expecting that because Mel is really into sex-positive books. I'm really enjoying it. I think I'm halfway, I'm almost halfway in this, and I'm really, really having a good time with it. I am buddy reading this with Shelby at Clever Fox. The Hate You Give, Thug, is it's a Tupac reference, and this is great. I wasn't expecting this to be that good. I don't know. I guess whenever I see like really hype books, I am just kind of like, it's probably going to be okay. But this one actually, this is her first novel. She's from Jackson, Mississippi. And this is the #1 seller on the New York Times bestseller list. So that's really exciting. And this is really good. It really, it reads more like an urban fiction, which I'm really, really happy about. 50 pages in, and this is a page turner. This one is also a page turner, which I'm really happy about. I feel like I've been in some more like clunky books lately that haven't really had a lot of flow to it. This is really good. So I guess I'll like just tell you what I know so far. I'm not that far in, and it tells you on the little panel. And it starts out like at a party, and there's a shooting at the party. I always like it when a book starts with like a party scene because it reminds me of those 1990s movies where it's just like, oh my god, and I'm just like, oh my god, do parties like that exist? They don't. They don't. Yeah, they do. I just maybe am not invited to them. It starts out at a party, and there's a shooting, and they run, and she ends up in a car with an old friend, and he gets shot and killed by the police, and she witnesses it all. And it talks about like the trauma, the other trauma that she was seeing. I feel like if I didn't know better, I would think this would be like kind of dramatic, but I've done some reading, done a little bit of hood living myself, and I know that witnessing murder, unfortunately, in some neighborhoods is not that uncommon, especially if you grow up there. You're gonna see some shit you don't want to see. This is etching towards a 5-star. I got a couple more books that I'm going to read soon. Big Little Lies by Leanne Moriarty. I've heard a lot of people talk about this on BookTube, and I'm really excited to read this. I think it's just like a real fun, like kind of rich mom murder mystery, and there's also an HBO series, which I'm excited about. I want to watch it when I work out. I know how I sound. I heard it's just like really like light and easy, and looking forward to this. And my book of the month is All Grown Up by Jamie Attenberg. She's actually based in Brooklyn and New Orleans, so that's cool. It's about a woman in her 40s. I think she's single and child-free, and I think just cruising around New York. Yeah, fancy rich lady. I don't think I'm gonna continue book of the month after, I think my last one is like next month, because I went to the library and I saw this there, and I was like, you know what, I could just be like looking at the list that, you know, they could send me, and then I can just pick it up at the library. Plus I had like a couple on here that I haven't read / haven't finished, and I just don't want to like continue that habit, and I want to just start like using my library more. That's all I have for you today for What Reading. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you guys on the flip side. Feel free to subscribe and let me know if you've read any of these books or are reading any of these books in the description below or in the comments below. And I will see you later. Bye. Hey, happy Mardi Gras.
Happy Mardi Gras.